These morning habits triple your stroke risk after 60, the first signs. Do you think your mornings are safe? You wake up, brush your teeth, have your coffee, read the news. It all feels so ordinary, doesn't it? But what if I told you that those very familiar routines could quietly triple your risk of stroke after age 60? And here's the most frightening part. The first warning sign often comes so quietly that you'll overlook it until it's too late. Imagine this. This morning, you reach for your toothbrush, but your hand misses. Or when pouring a cup of tea, a few drops spill unexpectedly. You might think it's just clumsiness or morning grogginess, but what if your brain is sending you an urgent warning? Are you sure you would recognize it? In the next few minutes, we're going to uncover the seemingly harmless morning habits that actually aid and abet stroke. And more importantly, how to detect the very first signal before it turns into a life-changing event. I'm saving the most dangerous habit for last because you'll be shocked at how many times you've done it in your life.
1. The earliest warning sign most people miss. I want to begin with the story of a patient I met not long ago. He was 74 years old, a retired accountant, still sharp-minded, with hands long accustomed to working with numbers. That day, he didn't come in because of pain or fatigue, but for something that sounded trivial. Lately, he had been dropping his keys and fumbling when buttoning his shirt. His wife noticed it first, but both assumed it was just a normal sign of aging. Would you also ignore it if it happened to you? When I asked for more details, he told me that just a few days earlier, while writing a shopping list, he suddenly forgot how to spell the word milk, a word he had written thousands of times before. No headache, no slurred speech, just a strange blank in his memory. Would you feel concerned if this happened right at your own kitchen table? We immediately ordered an MRI, and the results showed he had experienced a transient ischemic attack, TIA, just days earlier. The danger with TIA is that its symptoms often vanish quickly, but research in the Lancet Neurology shows that the first 48 hours after a TIA are the golden window, during which timely treatment can reduce the risk of a major stroke by over 80%. Did you know this before hearing it from me? Loss of coordination, like missing your reach, struggling to fasten a button, or spilling water while pouring, is not always caused by weak joints or muscles. Sometimes it's your brain knocking, warning that blood flow has been disrupted somewhere. And when you think it's probably just fatigue and carry on with your day, you're letting that golden window slip away. What would you do if tomorrow morning your hands were clumsier than usual? In the next part, I'm going to talk about a common morning habit that most people believe is harmless, but in reality, it quietly allows your blood to become thicker, increases the pressure on your brain's blood vessels, and drives your stroke risk higher than ever. Can you guess what it is?
2. Not drinking water immediately upon waking. Think back to your morning today. You woke up, walked straight to the bathroom, brushed your teeth, then poured yourself a hot cup of coffee. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? But here's the detail most people overlook. During the 6 to 8 hours you sleep at night, your body doesn't receive a single drop of water. At that moment, your blood is like a dry sponge, thicker, slower moving. Do you think that matters? The Interstroke 2024 study found that people who consistently drink 7 to 8 glasses of water daily significantly lower their risk of ischemic stroke. On the other hand, dehydration is common in nearly 50% of stroke patients upon hospital admission and can even double the mortality rate in older adults after a stroke.
Have you ever thought that just one glass of water in the morning could make such a life-saving difference? For those over 60, the impact is even greater. When your blood thickens in the morning, arteries that are already less elastic must endure greater strain. Add to that the fact that cortisol, the stress hormone, peaks at dawn, and your circulatory system is caught in a perfect storm. Then, if you add a diuretic cup of coffee at that time, you've just taken away the small reserve of water your body was holding on to. Do you realize you might be doing this every single day? The solution is so simple, you can start tomorrow morning. Before coffee, before your medications, before even checking your phone, drink a glass of water at room temperature or slightly warm. This single small habit will help your blood flow more smoothly, ease the workload on your heart and brain, and most importantly, act as one of the first lines of defense against dangerous blood clots. Do you think you could start tomorrow? But even if you do drink water, there's still another morning habit, one that many see as relaxing and safe, that actually slows blood flow to the brain and increases your stroke risk with every passing minute. Can you guess how many times you've already done this in your life?
3. Sitting still too long in bed. I know that feeling all too well. You've just woken up, the air is still cool, you lean back against the headboard, pick up your phone, scroll through a few messages, then read a couple of news headlines. It feels relaxing, as if you're giving your body a little more time to wake up. But for those over 60, that quiet moment can be a hidden trap for your circulatory system. Have you ever considered that this stillness might actually carry danger? After several hours of sleep, your blood has already slowed in its movement. When you sit still in bed, especially without moving your legs or arms, blood begins to pool in the lower half of your body. With blood vessels that have lost elasticity over the years, this process significantly reduces the amount of blood returning to your heart and brain. If you already have arterial plaque or a small blood clot in your leg, just one sudden change in posture, like standing up quickly or straining, could send it straight to your brain. Have you ever heard of someone having a stroke right in the bathroom? Cardiology research shows that light movement immediately upon waking helps activate circulation, reducing strain on the brain's and heart's blood vessels. Even something as simple as rotating your ankles, flexing and extending your fingers, rolling your shoulders, or gently tilting your neck a few times while still sitting on the bed creates a safe bridge between sleep and full alertness. But how many times have you skipped this thinking, it's nothing? Think of your circulatory system like a river. If the water flows steadily, everything passes smoothly. But if the river is still, debris builds up, and just one heavy rain can make it overflow. Your body works the same way. Do you want to start your day as a calm, flowing river or as a stagnant water waiting for a storm? And if you think sitting still for just a few minutes doesn't matter, let me tell you about another morning habit, one even more common and just as dangerous. It's something many people consider a healthy routine, but in reality, it creates the perfect storm for your brain. Do you want to know what it is?
4. Skipping breakfast. I've met so many people who proudly tell me they never eat breakfast. I skip it to lose weight. I'm not hungry. Or, I read somewhere that fasting is good for you. I hear these lines every week. They might sound reasonable, but for people over 60, especially those already dehydrated after the night, skipping breakfast can turn into a serious risk. Have you ever thought that an empty stomach in the morning could be the spark that triggers a stroke? After age 60, your ability to maintain stable blood sugar is not as strong as it used to be. Your brain depends almost entirely on glucose to function and has very little capacity to store it. When you're already dehydrated and your blood sugar drops, you're creating the perfect setting for dizziness, confusion, and for some, an acute cerebrovascular event. Have you ever found yourself standing up in the morning only to grab onto a chair because of sudden lightheadedness? The situation is even worse if you take blood pressure or diabetes medication on an empty stomach. Research shows that the combination of antihypertensive medication, fasting, and the natural stress of the morning can increase stroke risk in older adults. Sadly, many of my patients only realize this after experiencing their first stroke. Are you sure you're starting your day safely? The solution doesn't require a large, elaborate breakfast. One boiled egg, a few spoonfuls of yogurt, a handful of softened walnuts, just enough to switch on your brain and stabilize blood sugar. Even such a light breakfast can reduce morning fatigue, sharpen focus, and significantly lower the risk of cardiovascular events in the morning. Do you think you could try this tomorrow? But even if you've had your water and eaten breakfast, there's still one final habit, and this is the one I consider the most dangerous for people over 60. The unique thing about it is that you can do everything else right, but if you keep this habit, it can wipe away all those benefits. Do you want to know what it is before it's too late?
5. Prolonged inactivity after waking. I know many people think, I've had my water, I've eaten breakfast, so I'm safe. But what I'm about to tell you might surprise you. Simply sitting still for 1 to 2 hours after waking up can significantly increase your risk of developing blood clots and having a stroke, no matter how many other healthy steps you took beforehand. Have you ever started your morning by sitting for hours at the dining table, on the sofa, or in front of the TV? In hospitals, we know that patients who remain immobile too long after surgery face a sharply increased risk of deep vein thrombosis. What many don't realize is that the same principle applies to daily life, especially for people over 60. A study published in Circulation followed more than 8,000 older adults and found that those who sat for more than 9 hours a day had doubled the risk of stroke, even if they exercised at other times of the day. Do you think a few hours of sitting in the morning could wipe out the benefits of your afternoon workout? The reason is that right after waking, your circulation hasn't fully switched on yet. If you stay seated too long, blood pools in your legs, and veins, already weakened with age, have to work twice as hard to push it back to the heart. Meanwhile, small blood clots, if present, have more time to form or move. And when they travel to the brain, the consequences can be sudden and severe. Are you sure you want to risk that just for the sake of a relaxing morning? The solution is simple. After breakfast, spend at least 5 to 10 minutes moving lightly. Walk around the house, stretch your arms overhead, roll your shoulders, or step outside to check the mail. These small movements help activate circulation, wake up the body, and protect your brain. Treat them as an essential part of your morning, just like brushing your teeth or getting dressed. Do you think you could start this change tomorrow? Now you know all 5 morning habits that can triple your stroke risk after age 60. More importantly, you also know how to turn each habit into a protective shield for your brain. So, what might happen if, starting tomorrow morning, you actually put them into practice? When we think about stroke, most people imagine it as a sudden, unpredictable event. But as you've seen in today's conversation, those risks often build up from the smallest details, specifically in how we start our day. A clumsy movement, a skipped glass of water, sitting still too long, a missed breakfast, or even prolonged morning inactivity. Each can be a piece of the puzzle leading to a major event. The great thing is, you don't have to change your whole life overnight. Just start tomorrow morning. Drink a glass of water, move lightly, eat something small, and get up to move again. Your brain will thank you, and so will your heart. If you know someone over 60, share this video with them, because it's possible that just one habit changed tomorrow could give them many more peaceful mornings in the years to come.